Starting today, the Buffalo Sabres' reason for existence will be to win a Stanley Cup.
0.00%.
0.000%. They are sitting in dead last in the Eastern Conference. Their fan base knows we ain't making the playoffs.
The Buffalo Sabres have had one of the most disappointing runs in pro sports history. 14 years missing the playoffs, struggling to keep players in town, and a set losing culture. The start of the season didn't look like it was going to be any different for the Sabres. But there was one move the Sabres had in mind to spark their team. On December 15th, Jarmo Kekalainen took on the challenge of changing the culture in Buffalo. Up until December 15th, the Sabres had started off their season like any other. With a 14-14-4 record, they were sitting at .500. Which isn't terrible most years, but this year the Eastern Division has been closer than ever. So with a win percentage of .500, Buffalo sat near the basement, just ahead of Columbus. This prompted Buffalo to pull the trigger and switch to GM. The Sabres expected this to jolt their team, but they never could have imagined the impact it really had. And it all started from this quote by Jarmo Kekalainen. "You are pretty much all expandable, and no one is safe. We are going to start working, and if you don't want to work, you're not going to be on the team." This was a wake-up call, a tone that the Sabres weren't used to. It was a chance to redefine the culture of the organization, a chance they capitalized on. The Sabres went on the run of all runs, and from the stretch of December 15th to January 22nd, they went 14-3-1. But is this all just from swapping GMs, or did something else change? Well, let's take a deeper look. Buffalo plays a unique style and utilizes something many other teams don't. This team uses their defense more than any other team in the NHL on the rush. There was a quote from Wilford that said, "From day one, he has enforced our D, being part of the rush." Wilford said, "Any good team always has D jumping up in the rush and four-man rushes, and that's how you create offense." You'll notice this a lot throughout Buffalo's play style. And the two defensemen that are normally turned to are Bowen Byram and Rasmus Dahlin. These two rank among the top of certain categories in the NHL, including flurry-adjusted goals, which means how many goals should have been scored after accounting for how high danger the play was. And the other stat I found is created X goals for, which means the chances a player sets up add up to about one expected goal. So, for example, a high danger chance would count for about 0.4, and a low danger chance would count for about 0.2. Over time, those add up to expected goals for the team. I know what you may be thinking. This is just another useless stat that justifies nothing. But what these stats do is properly display Lindy Ruff's style of coaching and shows why Buffalo is having so much success. On this play here, for example, watch how the defenseman follows up the forwards. He's in the play, and normally he just drifts behind and waits for the puck to pop out for a rebound or to set up a play. And that's a big reason why guys like Rasmus Dahlin and Bowen Byram are having career years. Having Lindy Ruff on the bench is giving them a longer leash. Rasmus Dahlin already had that, but it's something Bowen Byram is really benefiting from. And recently he's been on a tear. This guy's scoring goals at will, and as long as Lindy Ruff gains trust in Byram, there's no reason for him to stop producing at the rate he is. One of the downsides with Buffalo always having their defensemen up in the rush is that they give a lot of shots up off the rush. It's a problem that the Sabres have had all season. It's also why they have the 7th highest shots against in the NHL this year, averaging about 29.7 shots against per game. But a trade-off that they're willing to take, especially with the hockey they're playing right now. One of the reasons Buffalo doesn't mind taking this trade-off is because of how hot their goalies have been lately. UPL, Alex Lyon, and Colton Ellis are playing great hockey for this team. It's another factor to why this team is clicking so well. Speaking of clicking, pen to paper has been a big thing for this team lately. In the offseason, they locked up Ryan McLeod, Bowen Byram, and recently Josh Doan. All these guys have played key roles for this team, but I'm going to focus on Josh Doan more than any of these guys for a minute. In the offseason, JJ Peterka made it clear that he wanted to move on from Buffalo. So they really only had one option, and it was to move on from him. Fans were skeptical at first, and quite frankly a little upset. But now it looks like the best thing they could have done. Josh Doan is on pace for 25 goals, 55 points. His production and his role were one of the only things keeping this team afloat at the start of the season. Doan was keeping this team in games that they had no business being in. Doan leads the NHL in one of the most important stats, takeaways. And it's a big thing for Buffalo. Doan's ability to pick up pucks off the rush and turn it the other way is really important. It helps put Buffalo's system to work. The Buffalo Sabres system is very interesting and not like any other traditional NHL team. When the Sabres get into the zone, it's like having 5 forwards. Everyone's on attack and they're constantly rotating. You'll often see their defenders push deep into the zone and their forwards stay up high. With a traditional NHL team, you'll often see 1D push down in the forward cover, but you'll rarely see 2 push down, which is the case with Buffalo. On this play here, for example, watch how both their defensemen push down into the corner while their forwards switch to cover high on the blue line. It's a very unpredictable system, and this is why Buffalo sees so much success on it. But back to Josh Doan, his playstyle is really great for this team, and it's something they really needed. It was refreshing to have the perfect blend of skill and compete, and if he keeps playing like this, he'll earn his contract easily. Another guy who's arguably already earned their contract is Tage Thompson. He leads his team in scoring, and he's been the X factor once again. This year, Tage Thompson ended up cracking the U.S. Olympic roster as well, which gives him a big confidence boost. Not that he needs it, because Tage has been one of the best forwards in the NHL the past few years. With an incredible one-timer and abnormal size, guys like him are almost unheard of, and really hard to come by. And to have the skill he has at his size is even rare. His ability to use his big frame and drive the net is something that most guys can't do, and he's a big role model for the younger guys on this team, while being pretty young himself. One of the last things I wanted to touch on is the recent emergence of the kid line. Zach Benson, Constellanius, and Noah Osland have been a really big bright spot for this team lately. It's a really small sample size, only having a couple of games together, but it seems like everything they do right now is going in the net. Take, for example, the game against Montreal. Being hard on the puck and relentless forechecking leads to a goal for them. And the night before against Nashville, they completely took over the game. Being hard on pucks, setting up each other, and using a combination of their skill and hockey IQ, they proved that they can really be dominant for the Buffalo Sabres. It seems like everything Buffalo does right now is just turning into something good. And if it keeps going like this, they're not only going to make the playoffs, but they might even re-sign Alex Tuch, one of their star forwards, who is due for a contract at the end of the season. But he's playing like he wants 10 sheets. That's a big tag on a guy like Alex Tuch. Overall, I'm happy for Buffalo. And hopefully they can finally break this curse that is not making the playoffs for 14 years. And if they do, you gotta think, is Lindy Ruff a candidate for the Jack Adams? It'd be pretty crazy considering the last time he won it was with Buffalo 20 years ago in 05-06. My final question is, has Buffalo truly proved that they are a powerhouse in the NHL? Well, only time will tell, but they are definitely a better team than they have been in the last few years. Thank you to everyone for watching, and I appreciate everything you've done for me. I got a Shure mic not too long ago, and I just really wanted to improve the quality for you guys on these videos. Obviously, it's a lot better to listen to than the Yeti Snowball, which is the mic I was using. I appreciate everyone who watched today, and if you want to subscribe, that'd be awesome. I'm 420 away from making money, and who doesn't want to make money? I hope everyone has a great weekend, week, month, depends on when I upload next, but for now, Intermission Entertainment, signing off.